How are we doing, folks? Happy New Year. Coach Glenn here. Happy Friday to you. I want to talk today about why jogging will destroy your body. And yes, I said that right. It will destroy your body. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. So bear with me. Now, I do not want to attack running or jogging. I was an elite level sprinter for many years, and jogging and running was part of my life. But unless you are pursuing running, jogging, sprinting for a very competitive sport, or unless you've been doing it for many, many years or decades, and you have the right biomechanics, you have the right coaching, you have the right heart rate training regime, then yes, continue with jogging because it's highly beneficial. So this message is primarily directed to those of you that haven't been that active in the last few weeks, months, years, and you're thinking that starting a jogging or running program is going to be highly beneficial. And I'm just going to share with you 3 ways why you might want to choose something else. So first thing, unless you are well trained and you are active, the first thing that's going to happen when you start jogging is you're going to accelerate and elevate your heart rate out of the safe aerobic zones. So Dr. Phil Maffetone has been published in many studies. He's a world-renowned expert in the world of endurance training. And the training zone that he has made popular, along with many, many others, is 180 minus your age, is the aerobic training zone that you want to be in for safe heart health. So for simple math, if you are 50 years old, 180 minus 50 is 130. So if you have a heart rate monitor, or you have a smartwatch, or you've got some device that can track your heart rate as you're doing exercise, I guarantee if you went from walking, whether it's moderate or briskly, up to a jog or a run at an even slow pace, it's going to go from in the 110s or 120s right up to 140 or 50 or higher in 30 seconds or less. So again, that's not going to be beneficial for you in the long run to improve your cardio, improve your fitness, improve your aerobic health, because right away now you're in the anaerobic zone, the black hole zone, the chronic cardio zone. That's going to not serve you for someone that's just starting out and looking to make fitness a part of your daily or weekly routine. So that's reason number 1, is you don't have the proper foundation from a heart rate perspective and a fitness perspective to start right off the boat with jogging. Now, I know there's lots of programs out there this time of year, Learn to Run, and they do 1 minute of run, 1 minute of walk, and until you can work up to running for longer. I would still avoid those programs as well and stick with walking. Walking is the best form of cardiovascular exercise you can do. So the first reason I've already talked about. So let me move on to the second reason why. From a biomechanical perspective, most people, if you haven't exercised in weeks, months, or years, you probably don't have adequate strength in your soft tissues, in your muscles, in your joints to handle the impact from running or jogging. Whereas walking, there's very little to no impact, and or it's in that safe impact zone where your body can adapt and tolerate, and you're just getting enough overload initially that it's not going to be detrimental and lead to an injury. Whereas if you were to start running or jogging right away, and you haven't had weeks or months of proper resistance or strength training to strengthen the soft tissues or improve the mobility of your toes, your ankles, your feet, your hips, you're going to end up with an injury in no time flat. And then you're going to be to the point where you're back to the couch because you're too injured to run and you can't do a whole lot. So that's the second reason. And I know that many of you are thinking, you're being a negative Nelly. I just want to get fit and get active for the new year. And that's great. Start with walking, start with strength training, start with some mobility training that will allow your body to adapt so that when you do start running, your heart rate is in a much better place in terms of from a training perspective. So give walking a try for the first 3 months of the year. Brisk walking. Allow your heart rate to be in that 180 minus your age zone. And once you can tolerate that for 8, 10, 12 weeks, then slowly progress. And if you add some strength training and mobility training into that, what you'll find is that when you do actually start running or jogging down the road, your tissues can adapt and you're not going to get injured right away. You're not going to be going to the physio or the athletic therapist or the massage therapist and spending money there. And then that's even more downtime for you because you can't even say, for instance, if you strain your calf or you sprain a ligament in the knee, or for most people, and I don't want to go too deep into the biomechanics. That's beyond the scope of what we're talking about today. But when your foot impacts the ground when you're running, it's the first thing that touches the surface, whether it's the concrete, the grass, the treadmill, whatever. If your foot doesn't have the proper mobility and integrity to absorb force, you're going to get injured. Whether you're going to develop plantar fasciitis, you're going to develop ankle issues, you're going to develop Achilles issues, calf issues, and then typically force goes up. So then it'll be your knee, then it'll be your hip, and then potentially your lower back. And so eventually you will be sidelined. And when you're sidelined with a knee or a hip injury, most likely you're not going to be able to brisk walk either. So that's going to take you out of the game completely. Or if you do develop bad knee or bad hip issues, it's going to limit your strength training ability as well. So I'm going deeper into reasons why you should start with walking and then resistance training and mobility training, especially for your lower half, to make sure that when you do get into jogging later down the road in the spring or summer, you're not going to have an injury right out of the gate. Third reason and final reason is when you jog, and if you're not well trained, your heart rate accelerates, like I already talked about. But what that does for you from a hunger perspective is your body starts to burn more carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are like kindling for fire. It gets used up extremely quickly and you have to keep replenishing it. Whereas if you're walking and you are in that 180 minus your age zone, then your body is primarily burning fats for fuel. As soon as you get into that 180 minus your age and you're above that zone for heart rate training, your body burns mostly carbohydrates. And your body can only store so many carbohydrates at a time, and then you have to keep eating to replenish. So if the goal is, okay, you know what, for the next 3 months, I want to lose a pound a week by eating smarter and exercising. Well, if you start jogging for your daily exercise, you're going to come home and you're going to be eating more carbohydrates than you had anticipated or planned because your body's hunger signaling is telling you, oh my gosh, I'm starving. And because you've decided to choose jogging as your form of fitness, you're going to come home and it's going to be counterproductive. It's like taking 2 steps forward and taking 3 steps backwards, and you're not going to make a lot of progress. You're not going to lose your 10 pounds or your pound a week. And you're going to notice that eventually the jogging is going to lead to you having some sort of soft tissue injury or knee issue or hip issue. So again, I'm not knocking jogging, I'm not knocking running, but you have to be prepared for it. You have to have a game plan and be ready to start. You can't just, if you haven't run in years like myself, and I decided to go out there and start doing 3-mile runs or 5K runs every day, I guarantee in a few weeks I would be injured and I wouldn't even be able to do a whole lot. So start with other things. Maybe you're in a winter area where you can't get out there and run. Well, guess what? I have a Versa climber behind me, much safer on the joints. I have a step mill behind me. I have a bike in the corner. There's other things you can do for your cardiovascular health that aren't going to negatively affect your joints if walking isn't in the cards for you. Maybe there's tons of snow where you live, or you live in an apartment building and it's just a pain in the ass to go all the way down to the bottom. And maybe you're in the middle of downtown and it's not safe to go walking. There's other things you can do to engage yourself with cardiovascular fitness by staying in the 180 minus your age safe aerobic zone. So it'll save your joints, it'll save your heart rate, and it'll save your waistline, because by doing your aerobic training, you're not going to come home and crave carbs and eat more carbs, which is counterproductive to the whole reason why you wanted to start jogging in the first place. So I hope that helps, folks. More than happy to talk about anything that you would like. So if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to drop a note below this video or message us. And I'm more than happy to dive into things that are related to helping you on your health journey, whether it's nutrition, exercise, sleep habits, lifestyle, stress management, whatever you're really struggling with, that you're just thinking, you know what, I just need a little bit of advice to help me take that first step. And there you go, you're off and running. So have a great rest of your Friday, folks. We'll talk to you again next Friday. I hope this information helped today. The reasons why you should not start with jogging if you haven't been active for a long time. Have a great rest of your day. Talk to you next week. Take care.